You get an email from your boss. The subject line just says, "Quick question." Immediately, your heart starts to race, your palms get sweaty, and your mind jumps to every worst-case scenario imaginable. You haven't even opened the email, but you're already bracing for impact. That feeling, that intense, full-body wave of panic, that's the exact same biological response your ancestors had when they heard a twig snap in the woods and thought a predator was nearby. The problem is, you're not in the woods, you're at your desk, and that email is not a saber-toothed tiger. But for a split second, your brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain's ancient threat detection system is still running on software from the Stone Age, and in our modern world, it's constantly misfiring. It's what scientists call an evolutionary mismatch. Our world has changed dramatically, but our brains haven't quite caught up. Today, we're going to explore why that happens. We'll get into the neuroscience of your brain's internal alarm, understand why it gets triggered by things that aren't actually dangerous, and most importantly, learn how you can teach your ancient brain to calm down in our chaotic, modern lives. Imagine that deep inside your brain you have a personal bodyguard. This bodyguard has one job: keep you safe. It's been in your family for generations, passed down from every ancestor you've ever had. Its name is the amygdala. Now this bodyguard, your amygdala, isn't particularly smart, but it is incredibly fast. It doesn't waste time thinking or reasoning, it just acts on instinct. It has a simple two-category filing system for everything you experience: threat or not a threat. For hundreds of thousands of years, this system worked perfectly. Our ancestors lived in a world of immediate physical dangers. A lion in the grass? Threat. A strange noise in the dark? Threat. A rival tribe on the horizon? Threat. In those situations, you didn't need a bodyguard that would stop and ponder the philosophical implications of a lion. You needed one that would scream danger and flood your body with everything you needed to either fight for your life or run faster than you ever thought possible. And the amygdala is an expert at this. In milliseconds, way faster than you can consciously form a thought, it slams a big red panic button. This button unleashes the fight-or-flight response. Your heart rate skyrockets to pump blood to your muscles. Your breathing gets fast and shallow to take in more oxygen. Your pupils dilate to see the threat more clearly. Your body releases a flood of adrenaline and cortisol, the ultimate performance-enhancing stress hormones. This response is an evolutionary masterpiece designed for one purpose: immediate physical survival. It's the reason our species is still here. That hair-trigger response gave our ancestors the split-second advantage they needed to avoid becoming lunch. But here's the problem. The world has changed, but the bodyguard hasn't. The amygdala is still using the same ancient, primitive rulebook. It's like it's running on Windows 95 in a world of quantum computing. The software has never been updated. So now, in your modern life, what does the amygdala see as a threat? A critical comment from your partner? Threat. A phone call from an unknown number? Threat. Seeing your ex post a picture with someone new? Threat. A looming project deadline? Threat. Your bodyguard can't tell the difference between a predator and a performance review. It sees a potential danger, and it does the only thing it knows how to do: sound the alarm. And suddenly, you're sitting in traffic with your heart pounding and muscles tense, flooded with stress hormones, all because someone cut you off. Your body is preparing for a physical battle that will never happen. This is the hilarious and deeply frustrating misfiring at the heart of so much of our modern anxiety. So what's actually happening in the wiring of your brain when a simple email triggers a full-blown survival response? It all comes down to a battle between two parts of your brain: the fast, emotional bodyguard and the slow, logical CEO. When information comes into your brain, whether it's seeing an email notification or hearing your boss's voice, it first arrives at a relay station called the thalamus. From here, the information takes two separate paths at the same time. First, there's the low road. This is the amygdala's superhighway. A rough, unprocessed sketch of the information is sent directly to your bodyguard. This path is incredibly quick. The amygdala gets the message and can trigger that fight-or-flight response before your conscious mind even knows what's going on. This is why you feel a jolt of anxiety before you've even processed what you're anxious about. The motto here is, react now, ask questions later. Speed over accuracy. At the exact same time, the information also travels the high road. This route goes up to the more evolved part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. Think of the prefrontal cortex as your brain's CEO. It's the center for rational thought, logic, and impulse control. It gets a much more detailed, high-resolution picture of what's happening. Its job is to analyze the information and decide if the threat is real. It asks the important questions like, is this really a life-or-death situation, or is it just an email? Now here's where the wiring works against us. The neural connections going from the amygdala up to the prefrontal cortex, the bottom-up signals of panic, are way stronger than the connections coming from the prefrontal cortex back down to the amygdala, the top-down signals of calm. This means your emotional bodyguard can easily scream over your rational CEO. When the amygdala is in full panic mode, it can effectively hijack the brain, temporarily shutting down your prefrontal cortex's ability to think clearly. Your logic centers go offline. This is why it's so hard to just be rational when you're in the grip of intense anxiety or anger. Your CEO has been put on hold by a very loud, very panicked bodyguard. But the story doesn't end there. There's another layer that explains the difference between a sudden jolt of fear and that low-grade, constant hum of worry. Connected to the amygdala is a region called the bed nucleus of the stria terminalis, or BNST for short. If the amygdala is the smoke detector that shrieks at an immediate fire, the BNST is the system that keeps you on edge about the possibility of a future fire. It's responsible for sustained anxiety and the dread you feel when facing uncertain threats. The amygdala gives you that heart-pounding jolt when a car swerves into your lane. The BNST is what keeps your shoulders tensed for the next 20 minutes, worrying about what could happen next. It's the part of your brain that fuels that Sunday scaries feeling, worrying about the unknown challenges of the week ahead. It's a state of hypervigilance that, in modern life, just drains our resources and leaves us in a state of chronic, exhausting worry. This constant triggering of our ancient threat system isn't just about feeling stressed. It takes a real physical toll and actually warps our perception of the world. Every time your amygdala misfires, from a difficult conversation, a negative news headline, or the pressure of a social event, it kicks off that fight-or-flight cascade. A surge of adrenaline and cortisol floods your system. Think about what those hormones do. Adrenaline jacks up your heart rate and blood pressure for intense physical effort. Cortisol raises your blood sugar for quick energy. In a real survival situation, this is brilliant. When you're just trying to write a report, it's a disaster. This constant hormonal bath is corrosive. Chronic exposure to high cortisol can weaken your immune system, mess with your sleep and digestion, and even impair your memory. It's why long-term stress leads to burnout. Your body simply wasn't designed to be in a constant state of emergency. What's more, this system creates a powerful negative feedback loop. The more your threat system fires, the more sensitive it becomes. It's like a smoke alarm that gets touchier every time it goes off. Eventually, it starts getting triggered not just by smoke, but by steam from the shower. In the brain, this is what happens with chronic anxiety. Your brain adapts to expect danger. It gets better and faster at spotting potential threats, a phenomenon known as the negativity bias. Your mind becomes like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. You can replay an embarrassing moment from a week ago in perfect detail, but you barely remember the compliment you received this morning. This isn't a flaw. It's your survival system in overdrive, scanning your memory for past mistakes so you don't repeat them. When this system is chronically overloaded, it also torpedoes your decision-making. Remember how an amygdala hijack shuts down your prefrontal cortex? That means you're more likely to make impulsive, emotionally driven decisions. You snap at your kids over spilled milk. You send a passive-aggressive email to a colleague. You avoid social events because the perceived threat of judgment feels too overwhelming. Each of these reactions, driven by an overactive threat system, creates more stress, which in turn makes the system even more sensitive. It's a vicious cycle where your brain's solution, high alert, is actually making the problem worse. You end up trapped in a state where your bodyguard is running the show and your logical CEO is locked out of the control room. Now, if any of this is resonating with you, that feeling of being at the mercy of an outdated brain, and you want to keep exploring the practical neuroscience behind how our minds work, consider subscribing. We break down these complex topics every week to give you the tools to better understand yourself. The good news in all of this is that your brain isn't fixed. It's incredibly plastic, meaning it can change and rewire itself based on your experiences and practices. You can't get rid of your amygdala, and you wouldn't want to. It's still essential for real danger. But you can train it. You can strengthen the top-down control from your prefrontal cortex, essentially teaching your rational CEO how to have a calming conversation with your anxious bodyguard. Here are a few powerful science-backed techniques you can start using today. Technique 1. Name it to tame it. This strategy, from the work of Dr. Dan Siegel, is deceptively simple. When you feel that wave of anxiety or anger rising, just label the emotion. Say to yourself, either out loud or in your head, "I am feeling anxiety," or "This is my amygdala firing." This simple act of labeling does something remarkable. fMRI studies show that when you put a name to a feeling, it actually dampens the activity in the amygdala and increases activity in your prefrontal cortex. Why? Because labeling is an analytical task. It forces you to step back and become an observer of your experience rather than being swept away by it. You're engaging your brain's CEO to analyze the situation, which helps it regain control from the panicking bodyguard. You're not judging the feeling, just acknowledging it. This creates a tiny but crucial gap between the stimulus and your reaction, and in that gap is your power. Technique 2. The physiological sigh. This is a powerful breathing technique promoted by Stanford neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman, and it's one of the fastest ways to deliberately calm your nervous system. It's very simple. Take 2 quick inhales through your nose, then 1 long, slow exhale through your mouth. So it's inhale, inhale, exhale. That first inhale fills the main air sacs in your lungs. The second, shorter inhale, then pops open any smaller sacs that might have collapsed. The long, slow exhale then offloads the maximum amount of carbon dioxide, which signals to your brain that it's time to chill out. Doing just 1 or 2 physiological sighs sends a direct, powerful message from your body to your brain, telling your amygdala to stand down. It's a bottom-up tool that uses your own body's mechanics to hit the emergency brake on the fight or flight response. Technique 3. Cognitive reappraisal, questioning the bodyguard. Once the initial wave of panic has calmed down, you can bring your CEO fully back online by actively questioning the story your amygdala is telling you. Remember, your amygdala is fast, not smart. It jumps to the worst-case conclusion. Your prefrontal cortex can check the facts. Ask yourself a few simple, logical questions. Is this threat actually real, or is it just a feeling? What's the objective data here besides my fear? What's a more likely, less catastrophic explanation? What's one small, manageable step I can take right now? For that email with the subject, quick question, your amygdala screams, "You're getting fired." Your prefrontal cortex, through reappraisal, can say, "Okay, hold on. More likely my boss just has a quick question. I have 0 data to suggest I'm getting fired. Let's open the email and see what the facts are." This isn't about toxic positivity or ignoring real problems. It's about challenging the automatic catastrophic story your ancient brain creates and replacing it with a more balanced and realistic one. The more you practice this, the stronger those top-down neural pathways become, building a mental habit of rational thought over emotional reaction. So that feeling of anxiety you get from a phone notification, it isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you're human. It's a biological feature, not a personal failing, an echo of a survival mechanism that kept our species alive for millennia. The key is to recognize it for what it is, an outdated alarm system that needs a modern user manual. By understanding the battle between your emotional amygdala and your rational prefrontal cortex, you can stop being a victim of your brain's misfirings and start becoming its guide. By learning to label your emotions, control your breath, and question your first reactions, you are actively retraining your brain. You're strengthening your inner CEO and teaching your ancient bodyguard that a work email does not require a full-blown panic. You are taking the incredible machine of your brain and learning, step by step, how to use it more wisely in the world we actually live in today, and that gives you the power to navigate the chaos of modern life, not with anxiety but with awareness and choice.